Nope. Hey everyone, welcome to the B Show. I am your host, Deborah Voltaire Galange, looking as fabulous as I do. I just want to that's keeping it real. Um, I'm so happy that you all are here tuning in live. I hope everyone had a great week. So thankful that it's Thursday. It's like you're working from home and you're like, I can't wait for the weekend. I can't wait for the weekend. And then the weekend comes and you're like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know about you guys, but I am super stoked to watch um Coming to America this weekend. Dose. Small fact that I learned that Michael B. Jordan was actually supposed to be what's his name? Eddie Murphy's son, but Eddie Murphy switched last minute because he thought like he was just way too good looking and nobody would believe that that's his son. I know the facts. Holla at me. So, like I said, the weekend is coming near. I have no plans but to watch Coming to America. My husband wants to watch it at midnight, but I'd rather watch it on Friday. You know, when you're home, there's like that's something to do. Get our little popcorn and stuff, and that's about it. So, I just want to talk briefly about Women's History Month. This is the month to celebrate us beautiful white, black, Spanish, Indian, Asian. I'm like trying to make sure I don't forget any culture. If I do, I apologize. Black, black, Spanish, white, Indian, Asian. And this is our month, you know, this is our month to celebrate us and everything that we bring to the table, especially black women. We are the most underrated and unspoken for, uncared for in the world. And, you know, I just want to shout out to all my queens out there. And speaking of queens, I don't know if you see. I know how you gonna go talking about a black girl and you got because this is like the ultimate. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I love Britney Spears. If you do not know, let me tell you, baby, baby. I loved her since I was 11 or 12 years old. I remember hearing her song, Hit Me Baby One More Time. And I'm like, oh, this song is really, really cool. Like, you know, this is a good song. And then I remember being at someone's house. We won't mention her name. I remember being at her house and we were watching TV and she's like, this is a song that you always talk about. And it was like back in the day, remember when you had to like stay home to watch a video? It was like the world premiere of Britney Spears. And that video came on and she was wearing the Catholic schoolgirl outfit. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in Catholic school. Like, this is so cool. The video was awesome. And awesome, my mom always says, why do you say that word all the time? Awesome. And I watched the video and I was in awe. And she just from year after year, she literally just amazed me and kept that vibe. And then fast forward to like everything that was going on with her and you know Justin Timberlake and Cat Federline and all those other people in between. I just still stayed a stand. And now everyone's part of this free Britney movement. And my cousin actually and I were talking the other day, and she was like, I just want to give kudos to you because through this whole time, you've always stayed dedicated and stood up for her. And now everyone else is. And how do you feel about that? And you know what I'm saying? Like, people is like being, like I said last week, talking to the sibling soiree, Eric, you know, back then nobody wanted to claim they were Haitian or nobody wanted to claim they were African. But now it's popping. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you Haitian, you Jamaican, you African, what's up? What's up? Back then people would be like, oh, I'm Haitian and Spanish. Your parents are from Port-au-Prince. They are not from DR. It is not the same thing, sir. But anyway, now everyone's down with the queen. And, you know, if you're watching this, Brit, just know I've been down with you since day one. So that's why I'm wearing her today. And I just want to give her a little shout out for Women's History Month. All right, now let's fast forward. We're done with our history for today. I am very excited for today's two guests. One is my dearest, closest friend. His name is Ziggy. He's also a teacher. He teaches in Brooklyn, and he will tell us more about what he teaches and what grade and everything like that. But I'm very just proud of him, and I will make sure I tell him when he comes in, because it's very important to let your friends know now and your family know and give them their flowers. I think it's very important to let people know how you feel about them in the present time, because you never know what tomorrow may bring. Him and I are very, very direct with each other. There are times that we may not speak to each other. Sometimes it's because we're just arguing, or sometimes just because life passes by, but we always just pick it back up like, yo, my bad. I got you. I feel you. I'm here for you. And he's such a great person, and he's very opinionated. And in the beginning of COVID, he had his thoughts, I had mine, and I like to believe that his thoughts have changed. So I definitely want to, talk about that with him, and I want you guys to see that as well. And for our little smuggler degger sports talk, we're gonna have a friend of mine. His name is Rick. If you don't know him, he's also on the sports hit list. He is a very good friend of my husband, and he loves football, and he loves the Lakers, which is crazy to me because he's in Miami and loves LA. I mean, there's people like, well, me, I'm from New York and I like Miami, but like, that's because I don't have a reason, but that doesn't matter. So we're going to have a little sports talk with him, and then we're going to have Ziggy who's going to join us. So it's going to be a fun show. And I want to know if you guys have any topics or things that you like for me to bring up. Please feel free to DM me or to write below. I'm always here to listen and to get advice and critique. And I know right now my husband is watching and he's saying that's a bull. But I like to hear from anyone but him. You know what I'm saying? Because he thinks he knows it all. And I'm actually, this is a little preview into next week. We're going to have a good friend of mine. A lot of my friends, I'm not gonna lie, I met them through Carl, and I just took them and stole them. Because like when you meet me, you know what I'm saying, you're like, Carl's a bag of chips, but I'm the dip. You can't enjoy the chips without the dip. You know what I'm saying? That's me. And next we're gonna have something really cool and different. We're gonna have someone do a little cooking segment for us. I'm a foodie, and but I'm also back on my no carbs. So hopefully she can give us a meal that we can all make from home that's healthy and delicious at the same time. So we're gonna have Ziggy soon. We're gonna have Rick, and we are so pumped and so excited. And I want to know what you guys have been doing for Lent. As you know, I gave up of my phone after 8, and I don't miss it. I thought that I would be dying, like dying. But honestly, it's like one is excuse why I can't talk to some of these heifers out there in the world. And then second, a reason why I like not having it is like I'm like not a prisoner. I'm not missing anything. And I have a fear of FOMO. So I used to be like, oh my God, what am I missing on social media? What am I missing with my friends or my family? But no one really texts after 8. I think it was more me. And also a lot of my friends know that I'm not texting after 8. So they've also chilled and been like, all right, we'll have conversations later. The only thing that sucks is the other day I got a phone call from my in-laws, and they called me, and I felt really bad that I didn't pick up. But once I told them the reason, they were like, all right, no problem. But did your husband give up? He gave up arguing with me. We argued last night. And he literally was like, why are you yelling at me? And I'm like, first of all, I'm activated. Once you activate me, it's on and popping. And second of all, I kind of wanted him to like really, really yell at me so that I can be like, oh, you messed up for Lent. Between me and you, you know what I'm saying? So that's about it. I don't want to keep rambling, and then Ziggy comes on, and then I have a birdie that whispers in my ear at times, like, "Oh, you're talking too much. You didn't give your other people a chance to speak." And you know what? Today's my fourth show. I can't believe it. I've officially hit like 1 month of doing this, and I'm thankful for everyone that's been watching and giving me my flowers. And I really, really would love, if you love this show so much, hit my booking manager up and let me know if what you can bring to the show. I got some really exciting topics that are coming soon, and I can't wait. This is just the beginning, and I'm just so thrilled. So we're just waiting for Ziggy to come. You see what I mean? People be late, yo. And then you gotta ramble and then find something to talk about. Good thing I'm a talker. I don't know if you guys watch reality TV. I'm obsessed. I watch almost everything in the world. And there's a show called Real Housewives. And I'm not going to go into it, but I want to know because I've been on a bachelorette party. I've been to one, I've won one, and my husband's been to one, and other blah, 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 blah. Is it breaking girl or guy code if you don't go back and tell the other person's husband what happened or like their boyfriends? But what if after it's done, you guys just all have a conversation like, yo, this was a wild night, or, like say if my husband got a lap dance, I wouldn't be upset. But what if he got like more than a lap dance? Is it breaking code for one of the guys to keep constantly bringing it up? Not in front of me, but within themselves. Like for girl codes, I know I wild out sometimes, but I always tell my husband. I may not tell him on the spot, but I tell him eventually. And my girls and I, like, we'll be like, oh, like that night that we were wilding out, And I don't think that's a big deal at all. But guess what? Ziggy is in the building. He is waiting to be escorted in. And I'm so happy to start this. Okay. Let's a round of applause. Hi, friend. Oh, he doesn't want to talk to me. Can you hear me?
Yep.
You're very low.
I'm low?
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm so low. You can hear me now?
Yeah. Are you using like a cricket phone?
Nah, I'm not using the Cricket phone.
Are you on Boost Mobile?
No, I ain't no Boost Mobile neither.
Oh, Metro PCS?
Nah, I ain't no Metro PCS.
All right. That's a little better. Now, I know it's a little different in Brooklyn, so.
I don't appreciate the disrespect from someplace named Valley Stream, so.
I'm not in Valley Stream. I'm in Rosedale. You've been here long. Oh, I would just like to let you know that it was not your fault, so I take that back.
Yeah, I know it's not my fault. I'm on Zoom every day.
Apologize. This is what I'm trying to tell people. When you have a crew, crew member, sometimes I don't know what he'd be doing. He'd be slacking. So I apologize. My bad.
That's all good.
Let me fall back, bro. My bad. Well, thank you so much for being on my show. I was just telling everybody how our dynamic is. We fight, we argue, but we always come back together.
Damn, I miss all
and I'm so proud of you and the man that you've become because I've known you for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And one of the things that we argued about was our different stance in the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
And I think that you've taken not a 360, maybe a 180.
No,
maybe like a 300.
No, not really.
Not maybe a 90 degrees.
No, not really. We can get into that, but no, not really. But
yes, this is going to be very interesting.
Let's just say I've been more respectful of people's views. Let's put it that way.
That's very nice of you to say. So for all those who may not know you, why don't you let them know a little bit about yourself and what you teach? If you want to say where you teach, if you don't, it's okay. But definitely tell us what subject you teach.
So of course, my name, most people know me as Ziggy, right? But in the school I go by Mr. Cummins, preferably Mr. C. And I currently teach in a school in not Brownsville, but Bed-Stuyvesant. I'm not gonna say the name of the school just to protect that keep that anonymity, right? And at the current moment, I am a special education.
Big words.
Yeah. I struggle over that, but at the current time right now, I am a special education teacher teaching 6th and 7th grade math.
Wow, kudos to you. That is very hard. And honestly, I'm very proud of you. That's a small fact that I didn't even know. So if we were playing a trivia, I would have got that wrong. I would have just said you teach math for
Nah,
fifth grade.
special education, middle school, sixth and seventh. I haven't touched eighth graders yet.
Wow. Pause. But yes. um, you just got it. So for people who may not know, this wasn't something that you like graduated college saying this is what I want to be
No.
at all. How did you decide like this is something that you want to be like you want to be a teacher, and now after all these years, because I remember you were like, I don't know, dog, this is for me, and now you're going on how many years?
This would be year four, honestly. Just to give a quick background on how that all came about. As most people know, or if you don't know already, me and Carly went to the same school. We went to St. Francis College, and I graduated with a communications degree focusing on film and broadcasting. So my initial intent was to, kind of be like, Stephen A. Smith or one of those guys calling one of the basketball,
Right.
probably one of these days in Madison Square Garden. But what they don't tell you in college is that it really pays to network. I didn't really have any networking or anything like that. So by the time I graduated, I also graduated at a young age. I graduated when I was 20 years old. I was still young.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I was still young. So with that being said, I kind of just, like a tumbleweed where the wind blows and it's just going and it's just going and it's just going. That's kind of what was happening with me. So I was bouncing around.
You sure you're not a literature teacher? You giving us big words. You giving us metaphors. Okay.
Nah. I'm just telling you the real. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I prepared for this. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for the call. But like a tumbleweed, I was just tumbling. I was, retail here, warehouse here,
Right.
this place here, and after a while, I kind of just got annoyed. At the time, I was 27 and I was working at
I was
Adidas.
gonna say you hit a certain age where you're like, this is not it
Yeah, this
anymore.
is no. I was 27 years old. I was working at Adidas. I was working for Adidas at the Barclays Center. So I was dealing with the Islander games and the Brooklyn Nets games. And I remember just one time I was putting some clothes on a hanger, and I was just said to myself, what the f am I doing here? Like this is not gonna cut it for me. So I had my brother, who was telling me in my ear, like, yo, you could be a teacher. You could do this, man. You would connect more to the kids than I am. You see what I'm doing? It's not really hard. Once you have that relationship with the kids, you could do it. And then of course, Carl is a professor. Greg at the time, I don't think he was teaching, but he was a teacher before. I ran into another friend who was a teacher. I ran into an old school friend who I haven't seen in 15 years.
Yeah.
He was a teacher. So I said, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna throw my hat in the ring. And I took the interview. I got an interview, took on the big what's the name of that program? Teaching Fellows program, and enrolled into LIU, and here I am 4 years later.
And that was hard. That was not easy because there were some days, right? You were like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it was tough, especially it was more so balancing school and work, and then
And a
trying
personal
to,
life.
yeah, personal life, and then really trying to get a handle on how these kids now, how they really act towards, adults and to each other, because I'm not really used, coming from
Yeah.
a West Indian household, you already know, I'm not used to a lot of disrespect from kids. So
And there's not a lot of black teachers.
no, there's not a
It's
there's not a
the
lot
men.
of black male teachers. Let's put
Right.
it that way, right? So
Yeah.
I think with them seeing me coming in there, and the fact that I'm the quote unquote cool teacher, but I could still get in your ass at the same time, the kids really started to respect me. So
And
I
needed
felt
that.
really strong. Yeah, and it's been wonderful. Well, up to now, but yeah, we'll get into that.
Well, when COVID first started, and we were all told it's almost around this time that we were all told that, we would have to be either shut down or remote learning.
Right.
I I recall you not being too happy. And one of the reasons I think it's because, like you said, the area that you in, most of these kids were told, all right, you can work from home and you'll get laptops or you have access to Wi Fi and all this stuff. And some of the kids that you teach did not have that opportunity. I know that was one of your concerns as well. But what are some other concerns that you had when you were told that you would have to be teaching from home?
Well, any other concerns? I think you just hit the nail on the head. That was a major concern for me. But some of the other concerns that I had was that, some of the parents of some of these students, they have a lot going on in their lives. So homework, schooling, it's not a first priority for some of these parents for their children. Their priority is making sure the kids eat. I don't know, get Jordans, get this, have clothes on their back, stuff like that. But sometimes the homework, the school it wasn't a priority. So I knew the minute that they went home, parents who have two jobs, parents who have to do 2, 3 shifts. I knew that there were a lot of kids that were going to fall by the wayside. I just knew they weren't going to be really paying attention. They wouldn't be locked in as
Right.
they would in the building. And just going back to what
That
you,
was a big concern, like you said, about, because I used to be work in elementary school as
right,
well, and
right,
especially after school, a lot of parents use after school as kind of a babysitter until they
yeah,
get home.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that would have been taken away from them, and then the free food that millions of
right.
children need in the morning, that was going to be
Right.
taken away as
So
well.
let me say that really quickly. So the school that I'm currently working at is a Title One school. So to not even give you any like big time definition, the Title One school is pretty much a school that's in a poor community. You know what I'm saying? Like 99% of the kids they qualify for free lunch. So that should
Right.
really tell you about the income of some of these parents that we're dealing with. And on top of that,
And
as
then they were going to lose their income if they had to stay home.
exactly. So it put the parents in a real tough situation. On top of that, as you said, no Wi-Fi. They don't have money for laptops. You know what I'm saying? They promised that they were going to do this, that, and the third, and people had to wait for months and months and months.
Right.
Kids I used to see in the building, I wasn't even seeing them online anymore. It was
Wow.
like I wasn't seeing them. I was not seeing them online anymore, and it was a real tough situation, and it still is. I mean, it's a little bit easier, but it's still tough because again, the parents, some of these parents, they either too old, they're working, or they plain just don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They won't care until they start seeing a grade where a kid gets an NX. Because now we can't give a 50 as a failing grade. We have to give an NX saying that your kid is not showing any progress. So that's one way when parents see that they're like, oh snap, my kid is not doing anything. Yeah,
Right.
your kid not doing anything. But I'm gonna let you continue going on because I know we got a whole lot to talk about.
Yeah. So how long did it take? To be honest, how long did it take for you to be like, this is not that bad working from home? Or were you still like, no, I need to be in person?
Ah, shit. I mean, well, let me say, like, let's say we went remote in March. We went remote in March. I want to say by May, I was like, this ain't too bad. You know, what I'm saying?
this
It really is
is
not.
this may work for a little bit.
It wasn't bad. It was just like, I'm gonna get up. I could roll out of my bed, turn my laptop on, go wash my face, go put on a cup of tea. I already got my PowerPoint ready for the students for the day, and it was just a matter of just going in, getting that work done. But I think for me as the individual, that was easy. As Deron Cummins, that was easy. But as Mr. Cummins, it was tough because I know these kids aren't learning. They're
Right.
not learning.
And that
So
interpersonal skill, like they need it in the discipline.
that interpersonal, the working with each other, the social interaction, and then of course the academic intervention, they're not
Especially if
getting
they're
that.
special education. Right.
Exactly. Kids need that interaction, and you can see what it's doing to them right now. But again, I don't want to jump ahead. This is
It's
your show.
okay. It's okay. So you just got word that you guys have to go back now to teach in class. I mean, were you excited when you heard that news?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
Absolutely not. I
why
was
not, sir?
I was not, like I said again. Ziggy was like, I don't want to go back into the building. I like the idea of just getting up. I
Yeah.
I don't and necessarily I don't have to teach from home, right? I can go to my girlfriend's house and I can teach over there. I could go to an auntie's house and teach over there. But now you want me to be in the building, and not some schools, right? Some schools they want you to be in the building 3 days a week. Some schools want you to be in the building 4 days a week. But for some special reason, our administration wants us to be in the building 5 days a week.
Oh
So
my
now
goodness.
I go from being home to now being back in the building five
Right. So you
days.
didn't even get a hybrid. It was just right in.
It was straight to
I
it.
was gonna say something, but I won't.
You know how much money I saved on Metro cards? I had to
Oh
buy
yeah. My
my
car don't even move, bro. My car be looking at me like, hey, am I only for groceries? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, totally understand.
for
Do
real.
you see a difference with the kids? Like some
Oh,
kids that you had to maybe give special attention to while working from home? Do you see like now that they're back, like they're so happy to see you? Or are they in the same vibe like this is not fun? Because they probably got
well,
used to it as well.
Well, some kids. All right, let's put it this way. Currently, I'm teaching sixth grade, right? So I don't really know them. So I'm getting that opportunity to get to know how they are. And you can just see for them, this is a whole different thing. I know when they were in fifth grade, they were probably turning up. They were doing all kinds of things. They were being kids. But now that they're in sixth grade and they're dealing with this situation where they're remote, now they back in the building. Their parents send them back in the building because
Now, do they come in 5 days a week as well, or they're
they
just
come in. You have your blended kids. I mean, you have your kids that's in the building, and you have your kids that's remote. And these kids that's in the building, they come into the building 5 days a week. Five
wow?
days a week. So you can see that with them, they're kind of reserved. They keep to themselves. In fact, my paraprofessional in the classroom, he had to kind of like, I don't want to say raise his voice, but he had to project his voice a little bit because I feed off of energy. And if you're not giving me that energy, then we're gonna have a boring class. But luckily for me, we had a paraprofessional in there, Mr. Shack. Shout out to Mr. Shack. We feed off of each other, and we actually had a good day today. For the eighth
That's
graders,
good.
it's a different story. I know them, and they just wild as regular. Like ain't nothing.
Yeah,
They are.
they were happy to see you.
Yeah, they cool. They happy to see me. They was giving me dap. One of my students, it was his birthday today, so I blessed him with a little $20. So it was good to just
Oh,
interact with those
don't
kids.
let them all hear that. They're gonna be like, Mr. C, my birthday's next week.
I don't care about none of that. Pisces. That's why we did it. That's why I did it.
The second sensitive sign in the world. Cancer is number one. So, what were your biggest fears about returning back to school?
Returning back to school, I didn't have any fears to be honest. Like I said, me and you, we differ on the whole, COVID-19, the pandemic. I think I'm a little bit more laid back with it. I think I'm more laid back with it than most teachers because when you go in the building, you see teachers, they got their masks, now they got the double mask thing. I mean, I gotta breathe, so I gotta pull that mask down a little bit. It gotta be at least under here. If it's covering my mouth, I'm good, but it has to be under my nose. I need
No,
to
it's supposed to
breathe.
be covering because somebody could go achoo and then it goes right in your nose. You see
No,
what
no,
I'm
no. The
saying?
kids that's going I chew, they got their mask on, so they just bounce right back. I don't gotta worry about that.
Do
But
you have to take tests every week or so?
oh, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm not with the whole testing thing. I don't like none of that. And funny enough, yesterday, you get as teachers and students in the building, anybody in the building, you get tested weekly, not every week, but it's a 20% random, and you get chose. So I was like, I'll go. I'll just get it out the way. And I got tested yesterday, and the results actually came back this morning. The same paraprofessional that I mentioned to you, he took the test as well because we were the last two. We're in sync like that where we just feel a certain way about this whole COVID situation. And we took the test and we got our email back and we both came back negative. So we kind of did like a little shmoney dance in the classroom.
My breath. I was holding my breath. You didn't see me. You did a long speech. I'm like, you don't want the vid for your birthday, bro.
Nah. I already had that a couple months ago. I don't need that. I don't need to deal with that again.
Now, how hard was that for you to have? I mean, thank goodness you didn't have to be in school, because
Right.
then everybody would have been like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not supposed to say nothing, but when you came back, you'd been like, yeah, I had the vid, yo, I had the Rona.
It comes to a point where it's like, and I was talking to my girlfriend about it, like when you have it, it's like you don't want to tell anybody because you don't want anybody saying anything about you or having them to feel a certain way because I had COVID in the month of I want to say August, right? August. I remember my aunt gave me a bottle of perfume. She said,
And then you know what month you told me?
"What's that?"
Like, like that SpongeBob thing will be like 80 hours later.
Later. Yeah. That's my bad. But again, it goes back to what I was saying. I didn't really want to tell anybody. I didn't tell my parents until I came back. Like when they saw me, I was gone. It was like, why you left? I was like, yo, I think I got this thing because I can't smell anything. I can't taste anything. Pizza does not taste the same. Pringles don't taste the same. Certain smells, certain smells. I can't smell certain smells anymore. So it's just like, man, this really sucks. So I'm glad to have got over that. And again, that's why I say,
And it's also a mind game. It's
yeah,
also a mind game because
yeah,
if you never had it and then you start thinking you got it,
yeah.
you either go, oh my God, I got it, and you're panicking, or you're like, I don't got it. There's no way. And then, like you said, that smell,
Listen,
you're like,
my
hold
aunt,
on. The day of the kitchen is here.
she passed me that cologne bottle. She was like, Duran, smell this. I was like,
no.
she's like, it smells good, right? It's like, yeah, it smells good. I couldn't smell a damn thing. Went in the bathroom, took all her products, was smelling. couldn't smell anything. And then I was like, yeah, I need to get out of here, get back to New York, and go in quarantine for a little bit until this wears off.
And thank goodness you're healthy and you're okay.
Yes, thank you.
Now, are you going to get the vaccine?
Absolutely not.
I don't even know why I thought you would, but I just decided to, see if I could just throw the, hit the picture real quick and see if you'll catch it. But
that was tried, but this fish ain't falling for that one.
All right, so we'll ignore that question. Do you believe that people, if you're teaching with these kids, that maybe their parents should get it because then you won't have to worry about the kids? Because they're trying to develop something for kids 18 and younger next.
No, I don't think anybody should be subjected to these vaccines because one, it's funny how COVID comes about, or they it's talked about December 2019, October 2019. Yeah. It hit New York in March because in March everything shut down.
Right.
And while all of that was happening, now we fast forward to 2021. You already have several vaccines out of here. Normally a vaccine takes several years for you before you can.
You're right, but this unfortunately is a really big pandemic and people want to get back to normal, so you got to do what you got to do to try to, otherwise we'll be sitting home for another 2 years.
I mean, hunger is a pandemic, homelessness is a pandemic, so why we not tackling those situations? AIDS and HIV has been out for a while, and up to now, you haven't come up with anything to try and cure us for that, but you come up with this COVID-19.
But there is a cure to get you off my show, and it's called the exit. It's called the exit button.
Listen, I told my brother, I was like, I can't wait to get on this show because I'm gonna just tell it all. I'm gonna tell how I really feel about a certain situation. But at the end of the day, if people want to go ahead and get the vaccine, by all means, that is your right.
You know what? I think I'm gonna do another show. Mm-hmm. For pro-vaccine and not for the vaccine. And I would like to see like a panel of us discussing this. You just put a light bulb in my head, and you'll definitely
be a great idea.
You definitely be one person who will definitely be on this because I want to make sure I have all my
yeah
before I let you speak your talk.
Amen.
I have Ricardo waiting, so I don't want to keep him for too long, but I always ask a question to my guests, a random question. Mm-hmm. If you could be a substitute teacher or a homeschool teacher, whatever, for any celebrity child, who would it be and why?
Celebrity.
I feel like I have an idea, but I want to see.
Oh, man, give me Kendrick Lamar.
That's real. Honestly, that's not who I thought. I thought you would say one of Bob Marley's grandchildren or great grandchildren. But Kendrick Lamar.
Give me Kendrick Lamar. That would just give me an opportunity just to pick
meet
his
him
brain and get a chance to meet him. And I mean, obviously his kid is still a baby or whatever, but I would definitely will more so work with Kendrick Lamar's and his family.
And then make sure that you got the vaccine if you want to be near them. So next week, I'm sorry, is your birthday, and I want to wish you nothing. Well, I'm getting a little teary-eyed, and I want to wish you, because you know what it was? Last year at this time, we had plans to go see Nick Cannon, me, you, Carl, and your beautiful girl, and it just went to ish. And I hope we can celebrate this year in any possible way that we can. But I wish you nothing but happiness. I love you so much, brother.
Love you
and
too.
I will definitely have you on this show. Maybe next month we need to talk about this, especially that we'll be hitting 1 year of being in the pandemic.
Right. Amen.
And I want you to know that I'm proud of you as a Black man, as a teacher, and I want nothing but blessings for you. And I just hope that you get the vaccine. So thank you so much for being on the show. And let's just give a shout out to Rick, who's about to enter the show. Let's see how he's looking.
Yo,
here we go.
Yo, what's good?
What's good?
From one person who celebrated their birthday to one who's gonna celebrate.
Yeah, I'm handing off the baton, man. Happy early birthday.
There's only one difference though. He's not crazy because we don't understand. We don't understand, Rick. You have to explain this to us because we were talking last night.
Yeah.
We do not understand my Haitian brother. Why are you laughing? Because you feel like you already know?
You
left the heat to go to the cold. I just
Yo, I'm a New Yorker, man. I'm a New Yorker. I'm born in February. Granted, I was born in Haiti during Carnival in the middle of the heat.
So
but
you born with heat. You're not born with cold.
I'm still a New Yorker at heart, man. I've always, as long as I've remembered.
You're not a New Yorker because New Yorkers don't like the cold. We trying to leave.
I do know. When you listen, once you leave it and you don't have it anymore, you start to appreciate. Yo, after you get through like the second, third, fourth, fifth Christmas of 75 degrees at the beach, you're like, nah, this is trash. You know?
My man out here bragging about the sunlight every day.
Right, just like us. After you get that -0 and the flurries, and you got to shovel for 10 hours, nah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, give me one good blizzard a year, and I'll be happy, man. That's it.
Well,
y'all enjoy, man. I'm gonna get out of here. Let y'all do
Thank you so much, Ziggy.
Isaac.
No problem, man. No problem.
All right. Oh, you drinking a little tea?
Oh, yeah, a little something.
A little something. Well, thank you so much for being on my show too. This is second time.
Yeah.
Thanks first you were as a guest, and now you here as for our sports talk.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, and happy belated birthday once again.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You turned 20 plus 21.
Yeah, there you go. I celebrated the 20th anniversary of my 21st birthday.
Wow. And for people who can't act, he old.
A little bit.
And you look like you had a great time. Tell us a little bit about your trip.
Oh man, it was dope. Like it was the second year in a row we went out to Colorado.
But that's not your first time.
Second year.
Okay, you like the cold. Okay.
Yeah. Last year we went to celebrate my 40th. It was adults only. We had a blast. And then this year we were like, I wanted to go back. I wanted to take the kids. Yeah, they haven't had snow in their life yet. My daughter hasn't.
Oh wow. Okay, so that's different for them. You should have said that.
Oh, and they had a blast too. They loved it. We lucked out. We legit got snow every single day. The moment we landed, it was snowing. It snowed every single day. So they got to have so much fun.
Come to New York, brother. All you got to do is
yeah, but it's not guaranteed, So at least
it was
you go way up in the
for
mountains.
like 3 weeks. It was like every damn day. And then the worst part is now we don't have any snow days. Yeah. So you just have to stare at the snow outside while you're still working.
Oh man, we had a blast. We was playing in that, so we loved it.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time. So let's get this show started.
Yeah.
First thing first is, I sometimes run my questions. Well, I don't run them. Somebody likes to know my questions ahead of time. And he just wants to know, why am I on him so bad when it comes to the Celtics?
Yeah.
Like, why I'm asking another question this week. But that's because they're not 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't even think they're 5.
Yeah, it's rough.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's rough.
Exactly. So what do you think is going on with the Celtics? Some say that is Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are just not good enough.
I mean, it's easy to point to that, but there's a lot of things going on. I mean, there's been specifically, I feel like there's been a lot of inconsistency overall with the team. There's been a lot of roster turnover over the past, let's say 3 seasons or so, 3 or 4 seasons. They've got a lot of moving pieces. And it's not just, like random dudes off the bench. They're swapping out, star players, go-to players. You know what I mean? You had Isaiah Thomas there for a while who
that
looked like he was going to be the guy. Yeah, he looked like he was going to be the guy. You get him out of there. You bring in Kyrie. Kyrie looked like he was going to be a guy.
And then he leaves.
He leaves,
So, it's like Celtics may be like, that guy that gets all the girls. And then every time they get a girl, they break up, and then the girl ends up getting married.
Yeah.
So it's like, bruh, is it you, or is it really something's not right?
See, and that is the good question. At this point, we have to stop pointing the finger at all the players, and we really got to start looking at the organization itself now. Right. Is it the coaching? Is it the front office? There's a huge disconnect there somewhere. Yeah. That they're not able to make it work. It's not like they don't have the talent. They've got tons of talent top to bottom. But you keep moving around all these pieces and swapping this guy for that guy for this guy. Then you end up with a couple of guys who think they're stars and should be superstars and trying to act like it. And then, you got guys throwing stuff around in locker rooms while others are trying to have press conferences. Like it's a messy situation. Yeah.
It's a mess.
And it's a young team. It's a young team too. So, to be able to be killing chemistry like that so early on, it's rough, man. It's going to be tough to kind of come back from that.
I totally agree. Sorry, Celtics. I mean, Like I said last week, I think the last time that they were good is when they had the big three.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. They've been trying to get it back since,
It's been a while. All right. So next question, we're gonna move on long because I have like a fun little thing to do in the end.
Yeah.
Coach Lloyd Pierce from the Atlanta team was fired. Mm-hmm. Do you think that that was good look? I mean, we don't have a lot of black male coaches to begin with.
Yeah, it's tough because I know that's a big topic of conversation throughout the NBA, specifically in the NBA, because it is a league that is so known for its blackness and its pro-blackness.
And it's Atlanta. Like, I'm sorry, you think Atlanta.
It's Atlanta, you're right. now in their defense, he's been replaced by another black coach in their defense. So, at least from a racial standpoint, the things kind of balance out there. But, end of the day, the 2 plus full seasons, you know what I mean? I think he was winning like 34% of his games or something like that. Like, it's not going to cut it, like sometimes we do get to a point where we may be quick to start pointing fingers at other reasons why somebody lost their job and completely glance over the fact that they actually were not performing. You know what I mean? So there is an aspect of that too. And again, at the end of the day, they had a guy on the staff in Nate McMillan that they brought in, I think, at some point last year. That they kind of felt they wanted to shift to, it's a dirty game. At the end of the day, it is business.
Yeah.
You try to shake things up. They got a solid team. They spent
maybe the Celtics should follow suit.
yeah. I mean, Brad Stevens should be on the hot seat. Brad Stevens should definitely be on the hot seat, But the Hawks spent poorly in free agency, so they got some talent that maybe they shouldn't have. They brought on Bogdanovich, but he's been hurt, so they got some pieces there. They just gotta kind of get it together, get healthy, and see what they could do going forward. They're not winning anytime soon, so it really doesn't matter what coach is in there. But you want to be able to set a standard and
maybe next year, dream a little bit. Now I know you are I'm sorry, so sorry. You're a big Lakers fan, which
I'm repping Kobe today. Actually,
I could see, and I won't talk anything ill about the dead. But I don't know if you saw my show last week when they said about Kobe being the NBA logo. Since you're a big Laker fan, I'm gonna do a little Lakers with you. Do you think that they should change the logo to him?
I like the idea of changing the logo specifically because the game has evolved so much. And this is whether it would be Kobe or not. I think the game has evolved so much that let's be real. Jerry West does not symbolize what the NBA is today. He symbolized it for a very long time. But where this game has evolved, he doesn't symbolize it right now. So I would be all for the logo being changed. Obviously, I'm going to be a little bit biased, and I would love for it to be Kobe. But if somebody said it was going to be LeBron, I couldn't be mad at that. If they said it was going to be Jordan, I couldn't be mad at that.
I agree with that one. If they said it was Dwayne Wade, couldn't argue with that.
That's borderline. That's borderline.
You're borderline.
But I think the logo being changed is a good idea. Again, I would vote for my guy being there, but I think just a change in general wouldn't be terrible.
Think it should be LeBron yet. He still has a lot more to prove.
True. That's true. I think he's still building his legacy. Yeah. So that makes sense.
And even though everyone loved Kobe, everyone knew it was, I want to be like Mike.
Yeah.
So I think it should be Jordan.
Yeah, I think the only issue with the Jordan thing is that Nike's going to be like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
that's my logo.
That's our logo. Yeah, exactly. Or you got to pay us.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Jordan could get more money for that. So in the end, maybe he'll win.
Yeah, everybody cashes out.
Exactly. So I don't know if I watched the show Carl's show yesterday, and they were saying, a lot of people just look at numbers. There's fans now don't really watch everything, and I say it all the time, I'm a person who knows nothing but everything about sports. And right now, number one is the Nets. It's not Lakers.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they're on your back?
I mean, it's a different conference, so that's the good thing. It's like you don't have to worry about them until the finals. And if you do have to worry about them, you're in the finals. So I
think everybody would kind of want it to be them too, just to give that Biggie and Tupac in basketball beef.
That East Coast West Coast thing, New York, LA, that would be crazy,
Right.
But I mean, again, let's a spade is a spade. They've got three of the best players in the league on their team. They're going to be great, you know, and they haven't had a full stretch of all three of them being on the floor yet. You know, we've only seen in little spurts because, you know, each of them keep getting dinged up here and there. You know, KD keep messing around with these COVID protocols, you know.
Right. But Kyrie said to everyone to watch out. Like they're going to take over. I correct myself. They're number 3 this week. It's late. It's Utah Jazz, which we're going to talk about, then Lakers, and then the Nets. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think Philly is even up there too. But I mean, again, at the end of the day, the fact that they're in a different conference, for me, I'm more focused on the Utah Jazz. I'm more focused on the
Nets because they're coming. Yeah, they're really coming strong. They're not like I said. They're number 1 this week, and I think maybe that's the Lakers need to be watch out because aren't the teams a little bit younger as well?
Yeah, you know, I think the biggest thing with the Lakers, I mean, we're seeing the Lakers struggle. I think they dropped 7 of the last 10 or something like that going into this All-Star break. It can't come at a better time. AD is dinged up, you know. Dennis Schroeder was dinged up for a while. He's back now. LeBron just sat for the first time yesterday, you know. So these good teams, we'll see moments where they kind of put it on cruise control. And not to say they're just turning it off, but put it on cruise control a little bit and you lose a couple of games here. They start thinking long term, like, okay, let's get to the playoffs and that's when it's going to matter. But, you know, you definitely want to
you got to play to make sure you get to the playoffs.
Exactly. And not only get to the playoffs, but secure a high enough seed that you don't have to go through both Utah and the Clippers. You know what I mean? Agreed. You want to try to avoid one of them.
I totally agree. Now, I don't know if you saw, but our guy from Utah Jazz, and I don't mean like our guy because I don't really care about it, but Donovan Mitchell was ejected from the game. Yeah. And after he did a press conference, which I think kind of messed him up even more with the refs, he just went on a rant how they're just after him and his team, and they just basically don't want to see Utah Jazz win. Do you think that's true? I mean, sometimes when you watch the games, you can totally see like the refs, you know, watching football, basketball, baseball. You could sometimes see like, yeah, they really don't want us to win. I felt the same way for the Super Bowl. There were some times where I was like, yo, they just want
it's inconsistent.
Yeah. Do you think he had a right to be so upset?
I think he definitely had a point. I mean, the officiating has been terrible for a while now, and it seems like every single year it gets a little bit worse and worse. I mean, and that's across all sports, but specifically in the NBA, it's gotten crazy. I think refs have gotten a little bit power hungry with the changes in the rules about, you know, expressing emotion and with the technicals and whatnot. And it's I think
that's what it was. It was just a technical, and
that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, when you call, you know, not for nothing, when you call a BS foul on somebody, first things first, you as the ref, you'll know it was a BS foul. Right. You know, and even if you called it and it goes through, fine. So if the player gets angry and you know it was a bad call to begin with,
just let it go.
Shut it down right there. Shut it down right there. You know? Yeah, exactly. There's no need to now tackle on a technical on top of it because he's angry at a bad call that you know was a bad call. You know, so the refs definitely got to reel it in a bit. There's way too much inconsistency in a lot of these calls. They're too quick to blow the whistle because he teed him up twice, right then on the spot and threw him out. It wasn't even like he got teed up earlier in the game and then that was the second, you know? So it's like, you know, there has to be a little balance there. Like when you're playing a game and you're down to the last couple minutes.
Well, he said the ball was definitely out of bounds because it hit him or one of the refs. Oh.
Now, if he start wilding out and he's really, really going on, I understand. That's the way that is, that it doesn't make sense.
Now, I think you didn't hear me because your connection in Port-au-Prince is horrible. But what I did say was one of the refs, he said that he knew the ball was out of bounds because I think that's what Mitchell was saying. Like, how do you know? And he's like, because it hit me. And I'm not on like standing, I'm out the line. So if it hits me, it's out of bounds. And I think that's what his point was. And he was just like, you're making stuff up.
Yeah.
But something like that, if they can go back to the camera, you know, you just kind of like, all right, my bad. I don't think you should go after the game is done and do a whole rant.
And then not only that, but see, it works both ways because then on the NBA side, you know, a day later, they'll go back and review it and say, oh, yeah, you know, we missed that one. Sorry. Well, guess what? We already lost the game. He already got ejected. So, like, you know, they've got to get to a point where they're doing a better job of getting it right in the moment, because we're starting to ruin a lot of really good games, you know?
Agreed. Now, I know that you're a big football guy, and right now there's nothing really much going on besides basketball. But how do you feel about J.J. Watts being first kicked off out of his team in Texas, but now he's actually got picked up?
Yeah, with the Cardinals, man. I mean, that's a pretty good look. The Cardinals got a lot of good talent on the team. They've been compiling talent. You know, they got Kyler Murray at quarterback. They brought in Hopkins from Houston just last year, who balled out this season. Now you're bringing in Watt to add to an already talented, fast, you know, young defense, hawk defense, you know. So they're definitely lining up. In their division, there's a lot of moving and shaking. We've seen the Rams go out and get Stafford, so they got better. The Seahawks are still there. The Niners just went to the Super Bowl last year. So the Cardinals know they really got some work to do to really boost themselves up in that division. So I don't blame them for going and swinging for the fences and trying to shore up that defense and see if they can make a run next season.
And they probably signed him. I didn't see how much, but he probably got a lot of money, because it was like $31 million just for being on Texas or something like that.
Yeah, he got paid.
Like,
he got a pretty solid 2-year deal, man. So, you know, again, if they could cash out, that division is going to be fun next year, for real. The NFC West will be very exciting.
I don't care for football at all. I just like to see football. I just was trying to be nice to you because I know you love football. Okay, so I came up with a list of players, like random players that I kind of know and that I don't know. And then I want you to give me rate them from 1 to 10.
Okay.
Of being the best dunkers of all time. Because what's coming up, you see me?
That's right. Okay.
Because what's coming up?
We got the All-Star Weekend.
And this is what we do, right? We watch it to see, because I know growing up, the best dunker was, what's his name? Oh, shoot. Vince Carter.
Okay. I was about to say, you got it right. You got it right.
Yeah, and my cousin Vanessa, shout out if she's watching this, used to be obsessed with him. And I want to know, when did she become obsessed with Celtics? Because that was her guy. So I think this is all fake with her and Carl and the Celtics, but we'll talk about that another time. So I'm going to give you a list of some men that I looked up.
Okay.
I don't know who half of them are, but I just know that they used to do like All-Star Weekend and they were really good dunkers.
All
and then you're going to tell me in scale from 1 to 10. First one, D Brown.
Okay, a little more old school. I mean, I wasn't crazy about his style. He could.
I just put him on the list because he was Boston Celtics.
I was gonna say you probably threw some Celtic love in there. He's probably the only
show
Celtic
some love for Carl.
So, I mean, D Brown again. I wasn't crazy about him. I'll probably give him midway, like a 5, man. You know?
Ooh, you're a tough critic. Okay,
yeah.
I never saw this guy play in my life, so I'll give him a 0. All right, Vince Carter.
That's 100. That's 100, man. Like that.
I said 1 out of 10.
Yo, he's the bar. He is legit the bar.
Yo, he used to do these spin arounds.
Yeah.
Jump over things like he was Spider-Man, Superman, and then just crazy.
Yeah, Vince is the bar, man. So if 10 is the highest I could go, I'm going 10.
Okay, Michael Jordan.
So
a 10.
So I'm actually, again, I think as great as Jordan was at dunking,
I don't think he was a great dunker.
I don't think anybody can touch Vince. So if I'm giving Vince 10, nobody else deserves to even get close to a 10. Jordan's a 9.
LeBron James. Woo!
I'm giving LeBron, and now here's the thing: we never got to see LeBron in the slam dunk contest, and that's a travesty. That does suck. I do wish he would have done it at least once.
Now, tell me why he hasn't.
There's a lot of theories out there. Maybe he just figured, I don't want to. You know, people always say, oh, well, maybe he couldn't take it if he lost or whatever.
I just think he's too big of a man to jump up that high and hang on.
So now here's the thing. In-game dunkers, there hasn't been many who can throw it down with force and grace the way he does in-game. So same thing with Jordan. He's getting a 9.
Okay. David Thomason.
Ooh, man.
I told you I did my research.
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna go about a 7-ish there. I'm gonna give him about a 7.
This guy, I will give an 8. The one I'm gonna say next, Grant Hill.
You know,
he's up there.
Pre-injury Grant Hill, pre-injury Grant Hill could dunk with the best.
Everyone wanted him.
I could match that.
Movies, shows, commercials, games. He was on his top of his ship stuff before he got hurt.
We'll go over that. Yeah, I'll match that 8. Grant Hill was legit before those knees passed out.
Paul George.
Can Paul George jump?
Paul George does amazing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm bugging. I'm thinking. I thought you tried to throw Carl another bone, and I'm thinking Paul Pierce.
Never. I would never. Paul Pierce will never be included in any list that I do. You want to know why? Because I wanted him for a thing to send to my husband, and not only does he charge so much money, he took forever to get back to me.
Oh, the cameo. Paul Pierce on cameo.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So Paul Pierce, read between the lines.
Nah, Paul George could get up too. I'll give Paul George about a 7.
And he does great commercials. The State Farm commercials are so funny. All right, Blake Griffin.
Oh man, Blake's up there. Blake's up there too. He's right up there with that next level, right behind Vince. So I'm going.
Wow. Do you think he would be amazing if he goes to Lakers?
At this point in the career, I wouldn't necessarily say amazing, but he would play a very key role. If healthy, I mean, what he could provide within his role would be great.
I don't know if LeBron would like to share the spotlight with him.
Yeah, I don't think he commands a spotlight anymore.
Okay. Kobe Bryant.
Come on, man. I'm gonna give him a 9.5.
All right.
And you get to 9.5.
So you're saying he was a better dunker than Michael and Kobe? I'm sorry, and LeBron?
Absolutely, man. Kobe could fly up there too, man. He only, he didn't do the slam dunk contests a whole bunch, but those run the tape on the early years, man. His in-game dunking was crazy as well.
Kobe I wish I could do that right now, like a slow-mo.
Kobe could fly. That's
okay, and last but not least, Russell Westbrook.
Oh man, Westbrook is a savage, man. I'm gonna give him an 8. He's right up under those guys. Smaller dude too, but I mean his athleticism is ridiculous, man. You get him out there in the open floor, he could do some special things in the air. So I'm gonna give him.
So we both agree that Vince Carter is just the OG, the number one.
Yeah, he sets.
There's nobody that can beat him.
No, he sets.
And he's a big dude too, but he flew light on his feet.
Yeah, hang time was just.
All on my notebook. Thank you to my cousin who provided this for me. From one queen bee to another. It's all about the bees today.
I hear that.
So before we end this show, which I'm so thankful that you were here, I like to just ask you a quick question. So we said the All-Star Weekend is coming, and it's not going to be the same as we know in the previous years, unfortunately. What are some things that you're looking forward to?
I think it's kind of cool that we get everything crammed into one presentation. I feel like the past couple of years I've kind of lost touch with the All-Star Weekend just because you kind of forget. Oh man, that's right.
I totally agree. I used to love watching it, and now I'm kind of like it's still on.
So for the longest time, as great as the slam dunk contest is, obviously slam dunk's always like one of the top draws. But for me, like the rookie game was always outside of the slam dunk. That was always my favorite. Throughout the whole weekend, just because you get these young kids out there, it's almost like an all-star game, a dunk contest within the all-star game. So, but I noticed the past couple of years, I kind of lost touch with keeping track of what night this event is on and what night that event is on. And then even if the dunk contest is on a Saturday night, it probably ain't coming on till 11:30. So the fact that we got everything in one presentation, I think is going to be cool to be able to kind of, take it all in one sitting and enjoy it. I mean, I know it's a tough
I'll tell you, ladies,
for everybody involved. But
as a woman, and I know other ladies who are watching this or may watch this later, we never forget when the All-Star Weekend is because it's usually around Valentine's Day. So the men will make sure they take us out bright and early for a lunch or to make sure we're back home to watch this. So I was very thankful this year that they decided not to do that.
We cashed that check early.
Yeah. I think I even have a photo. Like Carl one year got me everything you could think of in his parents' house. And I'm like, why are we going out to eat? He's like, oh, I couldn't get reservations earlier than this. I'm like, okay. And then we come home and it's like flowers and a whole cake and a whole bottle of champagne. I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, you enjoy that. You drink that. I'm going to be over here watching the game.
I'm out.
Okay. Like I literally have a photo of him eating cake while watching the game. And I'm like, this is what life is. I'm excited for when I used to watch it, the only thing that I cared about was the celebrity games. I love to see them go back and forth. That was my favorite thing. And to see the players sit along with the celebrities because everyone became a fan. It was no longer, especially for the dunk contest, you know?
Yeah, that's always the best. The celebrity and other player reactions during the dunk contest, that's always the best.
Yeah. So I hope they keep that. I honestly, like I said, I don't know what they're doing this year, but I will definitely watch it because now I know like sports. You feel me? Like my list, my questions, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got it. You're doing it.
You had nothing else to say. That was what you were supposed to say, so I appreciate it. I don't know about you, but I'm super excited for Coming to America. Then we're going to watch the All-Star game, and we're just going to vibe out. Are you going to watch Coming to America this weekend?
Of course. Come on, man. Everybody waiting on that. I just hope it's good. Well, look, I just hope it's not terrible. Even if it's not cheesy. It ain't going to live up. Yeah, right. It ain't going to live up. So as long as it ain't terrible, I'm happy.
Small fact that it took them 3 months to do this movie. One of like the longest ever to shoot a movie. They did it in one studio. And Eddie Murphy wrote the whole movie.
Yeah, they did it. They did it at in case you don't know, they actually filmed at Rick Ross's crib.
Yes.
So pretty much all of Zamunda is Rick Ross's estate.
Yeah. You know? And I don't know if you caught earlier, it was supposed to be Michael B. Jordan as his son, but Eddie Murphy was like, there's no way people will believe like that's my son because of him and Leslie. He was like, nah, he looks too good. But I'm super excited to see it. We'll definitely talk back and forth to see how we feel. And the same thing about the sports hit list. And thank you once again for being a guest on my show before and now as a sports talker.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me. As soon as I got the text, I was dumb excited. So thanks.
Oh, no problem. I mean, there was other people who I had in mind, but out of nowhere, I don't know. I just woke up literally like this. Get me Rick. And Carl was like, you want Rick? He was on your show. And I'm like, I want him again. It's the vibes, you know?
Yeah, I dig it. Appreciate it. I'm always here. Anytime my number's called, I'm here.
Oh, I appreciate you so much. Say hello to your wife and your beautiful kids. Stay well and be blessed.
Will do. Thank you, sweetie.
Oh, welcome. Remove him out. Peace out. All right, guys. That is the end of the B show. I had a great time talking to Ziggy, and we just literally came up with a concept. So we are going to continue that talk with him. If you would like to be on the show about the topic about having the vaccine and our beliefs on COVID, I'm letting you know right now it's going to be very, very heated. So if you can't be in the fire, like if you can't stand the fire, don't come in the kitchen. That's the phrase, right? And I hope everyone has a great weekend. Let's watch Coming to America together. Maybe we could do like a live party watching. I don't know, maybe. And I hope you enjoy the All-Star weekend. I'm so excited to see the dunk contest, like I mentioned before. That's one of my faves. Be safe, be well, and most importantly, be true to yourself. This is Deborah Voltaire-Coulange. I'm signing out. To all my beautiful women out there, rerun this. Bye.